Hi, this is David. I wanted to dress up a little bit and show a little respect to my Mormon friends who seem to be watching some of these videos. I decided to put my white shirt and my tie on, and I wanted to show them a little respect. Let them know, that I have no sense of humor. I'm a very unhappy man, and since I've left the Mormon Church, I'm in deep, trenched repentance. Kind of like Superman. Okay, what this video is on, and I'm a little bit qualified, I guess. I got 14 kids. I wanted to do a video on Mormonism and masturbation. This is a subject that gathers a large amount of interest. And because I'm old, I could die any day. Maybe I'll die right here while I'm on the camera, as most of the Mormons are praying and putting my name on the temple list to be dead. Um, One reason I kind of wanted to go through this is, number one, I have a pretty good education. I taught a little bit of human anatomy in my master's programs. And in my psychology and background, I've certainly seen a lot of in other kinds of situations, rape and incest and child molestation and other kinds of child pornography. Good Lord, I guess I've kind of seen it all in my occupation. But this is a subject that I think is an important one, especially for Mormons. Mormon cult is very heavy into control, to control, and fear, making you fear that you're not good enough or they're going to get you, slitting your throat, cutting your stomach open in their temple endowment ceremonies. And one of the earliest transitions for young people in the Mormon church is their sexuality. At 11, 12-year-old girls and boys are developing, and they are coming into the adult world. And obviously, when they do that, there's a certain beginning, growing sexuality. It is so diverse and so different in every gender, every race, every age, etc. So I'm going to talk generally. I'm not going to talk on, girls that develop when they're 3 years old and boys that have had their first sex when they were 75. If you want to get into those, get on the internet. I'm going to just kind of give you my experience with this subject, masturbation, and how that affects young people in the Mormon church. Now, like most religions, and probably nothing wrong with it, religions like to have a certain amount of control over your sexuality. They're going to tell you when to use your vagina and your penis, and how, and with who, and under what circumstances. Well, children certainly need guidance in that as they're growing and developing in a family. That's the normal job of mothers and fathers, that the children see the mothers and fathers in love. And God, if you've lived in a house, you know that mom and dad have sex. There's no secret to that. But what happens with these young people in the Mormon church, they're really coming in, the boys are coming into what's called the Aaronic priesthood, which is the lesser of the priesthoods, and et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, the girls are coming into young women's and Beehive and some of the classes that they take there. The Mormon church pretty much links masturbation with murder. They use the Bible quote of spilling your seed out on the ground is better to put it in the belly of a whore. I guess I'm going to kind of agree with that. I don't know, but I've never, associated with the belly of a whore. But anyway, when they put such a negative impact upon a normal developmental maturation of children, and then go against what is natural and go against what most young people are discovering, it does have a terrible psychological effect upon children, because they feel unworthy because they masturbate, or they feel they've had impure thoughts. And the Mormon church says if you think you've had sex with a woman, or you lust after a woman, you've already had sex or intercourse with them. And I find that's not true, but anyway, that's what they say. The point I'm trying to make is to give the kids a little bit of a break. When I was doing my master's in Oklahoma, Tahlequah, the last statistic I saw, now these are old, it may be different now, but about 96% of all males between 12 and 20 do masturbate, and about 67% of all females do. Now, that's pretty hard to get out of that group when you're 12, 14, 16 years old. Every human being is different. Their desire for sex, their interest in sex, their reasons for sex, their motivations, their bodies, everything. The whole formula is so complex. And for the Mormon Church, how they torture these kids, believe it or not, is the kids start doing the baptisms for the dead in the Mormon temple. And I'll get into that someday, but that's another time. And so to get to the temple at 12 years old or 13, when you're going to do baptisms for the dead, the boys and the girls are interviewed. This is abusive. But the Mormon Church doesn't think it is. I do. I'm a licensed psychologist, and wait a minute, I've overstated that. I'm not a licensed psychologist. I am a psychologist. I have never been licensed for private practice. Okay, so there's a little bit of a difference there. What they do is the bishop calls them in and says, we're going to see if you're worthy to go to the temple, and we're going to ask you some questions. Well, some of the questions are pretty innocent. And then they get down to the main question there. They will say to the boy or the girl that's 12 or 13, alone in their office, well, do you masturbate? And certainly probably 60-70% of those kids know what that word means, and they'll either lie and say no, because if they say yes, now they've got to go into every detail. How much? When did you masturbate? Were you looking at pictures? Were you talking to someone on the phone? The Mormon Church will just totally berate you as a child if you say, yes, I masturbate. And when all the other kids are going off to the temple, you're standing on the front lawn, and all the other kids are going, oh, he must masturbate. I mean, come on. My experience has been that it's very traumatizing. I have changed dramatically because now I consider myself somewhat of a normal human being. Most that meet me still say, no, you're not, but that's debatable. But when I raised my first couple of families, I followed the Mormon God, that Jesus will make you go blind if you masturbate. And of course, most of my children said to me, well, is it okay if I do it till I go blind? And I said, well, basically, you will go blind if you masturbate. And one of my sons said to me, well, gee, can I just do it until I need glasses? You know, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's one of my smarter kids. So overall, what I'm saying is that these days, I'm still raising a couple of children, and I understand human development. I have a degree in child development and social work, and I think that kids need good information. I think they need accurate information. I think they need adults that they can come to and say, you know, what's going on here? I heard this word, or someone said this or that. And that's the kind of relationship that we should all, I think, try to develop with our kids. And I think also it is extremely important to develop a non-judgmental attitude, that if a child is really, really a sexual person, they didn't do that themselves. They didn't create that. That is the way, I guess, Jesus, being an atheist, I have to say the only way that they're that way is God made them that way. So I think we have to accept our kids. They're going to be different. There's going to be different tests and trials. Certainly, we don't want them having babies and ruining their education and lawsuits and child support and jail. Good Lord, as parents, we're certainly trying to guide them around those things. But, to put a chastity belt on their face or upon their vagina probably is a little old-fashioned, if you know what I mean. Kids are going to experiment, and kids are going to be sexual. And I've told all of my kids, what you do in private, in the bathroom or your bedroom or wherever you are, if it's in private, that's your business. That's no one else's business. That's not the bishop's business. That's not the stake president's business. That's not your dad's business or your mom's business. So I just kind of wanted to give you my experience of the terror of masturbation in the Mormon Church, and that it's brought to the forefront. Whether you're going to the temple, the boys, when you get ordained a deacon, a teacher, a priest, when you get any kind of a temple recommend to go to the temple, those questions are kind of one of the most interesting ones that the bishops are interested in. And there's a certain amount of quasi-sexual titillation that these clowns that call themselves the authorities of the Mormon Church, they love to hear the details. How long did you kiss her? Was your penis in the front of her or in the behind of her? They go on and on in these courts of love, testing the people and torturing the people. And I have a lot of empathy for the children and the young people that they're brought up in this. They see it. They think there's something abnormal about them. They think that there's something that's evil about them, that they're not good enough to get into Jesus' world, and they're sad. They're depressed, and to tell you the God's truth, a lot of them can commit suicide. That is not unusual in these kinds of situations. So let me just be a word to the wise or the stupid. I don't care if it's a word to the wise or the stupid. The Mormon Church is vicious on masturbation. So watch your kids. Watch what they are told behind closed doors of bishops and stake presidents. And be careful of those doors being closed with bishops and stake presidents. As a parent, I always go in with my children. I don't let any adult ever be with my children alone. Jesus will leave the door open if he wants to talk about masturbation to my girls or my boys. So, a word to the wise, be careful. If you're into being normal and human sexuality is something that you're comfortable with, you won't be once the Mormon Church gets done with you. Thank you so much.